Well, here we are with our lovely, lovely wine here, the Texas Hold'em Red. Great wine with all sorts of wonderful Italian dishes. I love my pasta, lasagna, eggplant parmigiano. Ah, what a great meal with Texas Hold'em. You know, one of the things that you always try to do is you try to size up the flavors with the food, but also with the intensity of the food. And let's face it, Italian food is pretty intense. That good marinara sauce, the meat sauces, they need a strong wine to hold up to. And the reason why Texas Hold'em works is because of the backbone of Shiraz. Shiraz is a big, meaty red grape, and the Merlot supplies the velvety smoothness of the wine. So let's go ahead and smell it. Ah, lovely aroma, lovely aroma. Let's warm up those nasal buds again. Let's rub a dub dub, get that nose good and excited. Oh, oh, interesting. My left nostril just took over. So now I'm smelling more with the left than the right. And see, that's what I was saying. About every 2 to 3 hours, the dominance of the nostril kind of moves back and forth. So, okay. Mm. Wow. I tell you, I can see that pepperoni pizza right now, boy. I can feel it in my mouth. My mouth is tingling right now. I just love that flavor. It's just a great glass of wine at an extremely reasonable price. Texas Hold'em in the grocery as well as in liquor stores typically sells for less than $10. A great bottle of wine, and it's one that is becoming more and more popular. You know, the gimmicky names of wines have actually declined in the last 12 months. Texas Hold'em is not a gimmicky name. It's a name that you can remember, first of all. And then when you have a wine that backs up the interesting label, it's one that you can keep enjoying. Uh, so enjoy Texas Hold'em Red. And then our next wine, which is one that is so much affiliated with Messina Hof, is the Paulo Port. But before we do the port, I want to remind you about two other great wines that are out in the market now. One is the Texas Country Christmas, which is a white Zinfandel rosé. The color on this wine is absolutely gorgeous. It's a rose-colored rosé, essentially, and it's made with the Zinfandel grape. Texas Country Christmas is only available in the months of November and December. After that, it goes away, and so it's a very special treat for this time of year. So it's the Texas Country Christmas. And it's got such a beautiful label. It's got like a Currier and Ives look about it. It has a snowy roof. You know, we get huge snowstorms here in Texas. Last year we had three, and it actually stuck on the roof of the house past noon. You know, for a New York kid like myself that had snowstorms that the ground stayed with snow for 3 and 4 days, having a snowstorm where the snow disappears by 1 o'clock in the afternoon is a real treat because you get to enjoy that white fluffy stuff, but it doesn't really stay around long enough to be a bother. And then the next wine, getting us all set for the New Year's Eve celebration and Christmas, is our beautiful sparkling wine. And this is the Brut, our dry Brut, which is a blend of Chenin Blanc and Chardonnay. It's 50-50. And then we have Raspberry, which is also a blend of Chenin Blanc and Chardonnay with a hint of raspberry flavor. And then we also have Almond, which is a blend of Chardonnay and Chenin Blanc with a hint of almond flavor. So some great, lovely treats for the holidays. They're so festive. I love to hear that bottle just go pop, and it just says, this must be a special occasion. So here we go. Take our screw pull again. You know, you remember, ports live a long, long time. I was looking in the magazine the other day, and they found some ancient ports and sherries that were more than 150 years old. And when they got into the bottle, it tasted like it was maybe 30 or 40 years of age. Has tremendous longevity, and the reason why it does is because of the higher alcohols. Ports, you know, are between 18 and 22% alcohol, so they have a lot more preservation. So here we go. We're going to pour the port right down the middle. Look at the lovely color on that. And one of the things that's so distinctive about port, and I'll put that one right here so you can see it, it's the 2003. It's a library selection. When you swirl this in the glass, you see that it has incredible droplets that sheen down the side of the glass, and that's called legs. And when the wine has that kind of viscosity, you know that the alcohol level is higher, and you know that the thickness of the wine. All of our ports are unfiltered, so all of our ports will eventually throw some sediment in the very bottom of the bottle because we don't filter it. I don't feel a need to filter it. I want to maximize the flavor impact of the product. So here we go. Wow. I'm telling you, when I taste this wine, I can just feel and taste one of those Kirsch cherries. You know those cherries that when you bite into them, they've got that chocolate around the outside of it, but when you bite into it, that cherry just bursts in your mouth? Well, that's what I think when I taste this. This wine has developed such an intense aroma. It has lost all of its edge. I mean, right now this wine is 7 years of age, and it tastes fresh, floral, fruity, chocolate cherry. I mean, what a great way to end a day. You know, you work hard, you play hard, and then you get to taste this in the end of the day. So you kind of feel like, hey, Lord, thank you so much for this day, and this is my wonderful way of thanking you, first of all, for another day on this earth, and thank you for all the blessings that we receive through your grace, Lord. And this is my little positive reinforcement. And then on the health side, number one, it reduces my cholesterol. A little bit of port before you go to bed improves your deep sleep mechanism. So you wind up with a much deeper and much more complete sleep. And it's just a wonderful way to finish the day. I know Meryl and I have a tradition every night. Before we go to bed, we have a glass of port. We toast each other. We say thank you to the Lord. We drink our port, and then the rest is a secret. We don't want to really talk about that. But each day is special, and I think we should celebrate each day because, you know, you only have so many. Ports are wines that could use a vacuum save, so you could put the stopper on the top, you could take the pump, and you can suck the air out, or not. I think it's optional. I think if you think that you're going to drink a full bottle of port within maybe 2 weeks, I wouldn't worry about the vacuum saver. If it's going to take you a couple of months, I think the vacuum save does help, because even though it's a vintage ruby port that has alcohol between 18 and 22%, it will oxidize somewhat. So if you leave it air exposed for 3-4 months, some of the ruby color will start developing a little bit of a brown edge, and it will change the flavor a little bit more towards tobacco. And if you like the flavor of the chocolate cherry and you don't really want the flavor of tobacco or leather, then I would say use the VacuSave and the pump, and it will do a nice job of preserving the wine. I do recommend the VacuSaver on all of the other wines because it will keep the wines much better and it will preserve them for a long period of time. Now, I do recommend that you take all of the wines, whether they be red or white or port, if you VacuSave them, and after you put the stopper in and suck a vacuum, I recommend that you put them in the refrigerator. The red wines come out 30 minutes before you serve them, and the white wines come out 15 minutes before you serve them, and the wines will be perfect temperature. And remember, if you don't have the perfect temperature, then the Robbie is a wonderful little device. Keep in mind that if you put this in the freezer, you can chill up to 6, maybe 8 bottles of white wine instantly just by passing the wine through the refrigerated cylinder. If you're doing reds, you can put this in the refrigerator and pass the wine through the Robbie, and it'll come out perfect temperature for red wine. Keep in mind, red wines are typically served at about 60 to 65 degrees, and white wines are typically served between 45 and 55 degrees. So I would like to thank all of you for being along with us today on our journey of tasting wines. Remember, we've got the cruise that will end its sign up probably the first 2 weeks in December. So act now. We only have 10 cabins left. Be sure to come to our New Year's Eve celebration. Only 50 couples can come there. And for those of you who are world travelers and want to go to an incredible event of wine, it's Wine Pleasures Workshops, the International Wine Tourism Conference, the end of January and the first week in February in Porto, Portugal. And you can contact Merrill or myself at wine@messinahof.com, and we'll be happy to steer you to any of these. Be sure that when you make a reservation to the New Year's Eve celebration, you call 979-778-9463, extension 234. So on behalf of all of us at Messina Hof, God bless. Have a great Thanksgiving, and we look forward to seeing all of you at our next taste. God bless you.